guys.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Game Guys. Today you are with just myself. My name is Gary and Dave is with me. It's just us two. We're going to be talking a little bit about Hawken Ascension, which when this come out, just came out I believe yesterday, right Dave?
Yeah, they actually had to spend about an extra day and a half because there was a problem with the update, but now it is live.
Yeah, so I mean, as you can see, I mean, if you're used to playing Hawken already, they have changed quite a bit here. Just the overall interface of it has been changed, and we'll let Dave kind of go through the different mechs and stuff like that too, if you'd like.
All right. Well, the game has changed. In essence, it used to cost HC points, the points you earn through the game, to eventually buy new mechs. It has now changed to a point where you get new mechs by playing the game and leveling certain mechs.
Right.
As you unlock a new mech, as you play a certain mech, you'll eventually lock another mech. Now, each mech has its own level progression within itself. But the big difference is now that instead of having to, actually buy your mechs, they come through experience.
Right. Right, and I'm trying to find here exactly where that is. I think if you go to, yeah, you can see here on my screen. So at level 5, you unlock the sharpshooter mech here, and it'll kind of give you an idea of what that is. At level 6, you'll unlock the brawler, and then at level 7, the technician. And it goes on from there. As you do that, you'll even unlock, it looks like here at level 10, it's called T1 or Fade, OR-Fade, I'm sorry, which is actually a camo. Or actually a repair bot. So, I mean, you can still spend the money to buy these things.
You can also spend the experience you get to unlock them early without even having to spend money.
Right, right. I mean, the HC points, I mean, if you go, let's say, to the medium mechs, and you see all the ones here, Sharpshooter, as you can see here, is already unlocked. We could, for, let's say, about 12k points here, unlock the Raider, which is a type B medium. And, I'm not quite sure if you unlock one of these, if you can flip-flop the parts between them. I don't...
You cannot flip-flop the parts between them. Some you start with a weapon, others you have to unlock to get it.
Right.
You cannot change the weapons or the internals.
Right.
And a big thing about the game now is the internals and the tuning. They've completely changed how those work.
Right, and I'll kind of show you as Dave's talking about that. We'll click on the sharpshooter, the mech rank here, along with the weapons and tuning, which Dave's talking about.
Yeah.
Like the mech rank here, it looks like you can decide and put points into it if you want. For the sharpshooter here, if you want to look at the slug rifle, you can put points into, or you can put points into a power shot ability, which is like a negative.
It does give you a little tree, and I would say the trees differentiate based on which mech you like to play.
Correct.
And the best part is like you can play a mech that you really like and keep playing them. If you eventually top that mech out in points, you get something called overload experience, and then you can send that overload experience to any other mech to help level it up as well.
Correct. And also, speaking of that, while you're looking here under mech rank, as you continue with experience this, it looks like you unlock, certain parts of the mech, the Res Elite arms, the Res Elite midsection, and so on, until you finally unlock what is called the Reaper, which is kind of like the ultimate version of the sharpshooter. Which is really nice. But it's a ridiculous amount of points. I mean, this one right here is 102,000. What we have total right now is 27,000, but it looks like it's specific to your mech. What we have is a total XP of 27,000, at least on my character.
Also, they've changed a big thing, the items. Items used to be based off a point system. Now they're kind of based off a size system, based off your mech and what you've leveled up to. So you have 4 slots. You can have an item like, say, a charge or a let's see, what else do I have here? Or a turret would take up. Say you have 4 slots. Maybe a turret takes up 2. Maybe the shield takes up 2, and then you have no room for anything else.
Right.
But maybe you can get like a radar scrambler that only takes up 1 spot, and you can you can mix and match. It's now based off of slot space, which you can then increase on your mech as you level up.
Which is nice. I mean, that's typically the way they've always done it in like every other mech game that I've ever played. You get 5 different parts or something like that you can flip-flop, and one part may take 3 slots, one part may take 1. So it looks like...
It is a very... I'm sorry. It is very good. It's very it's a simplification of what they had before. It was like you had to in your head do internal math, plus
Right.
minus this that. This
Exactly.
is very simple, straightforward. You can look at it and you can tell.
Exactly, and as you can see here on my screen here, you can see the sizes here of where it would go and the total price. So I mean, you can spend real world money, which is called meteor points here, or you can just go with the Hawken points, which you do gain those by actually playing winning matches,
Yeah.
doing objectives, and so forth. So,
Bonus thing is, if you go to the website and you completely fill out all your information, you will get bonus Hawken points and some meteor points.
right. And if you see here, I mean, there's some all the way down at the bottom, which costs 1,700 points, but it fills up all 4 slots. I mean, obviously those are going to be the best ones, but that depends. I mean, do you want the best shield taking up all 4 spots, or would you like a decent shield with the ability to throw down a turret or an EMP or something like that? Which I guess really comes down to what the player really wants. Tuning is still here, much different. They've completely overhauled the tuning in this. I'm not too familiar with it yet. Like I said, the Ascension update did just come out. You see here weapons loader, heat sinks, things like that. And when you look at it, weapons loader, for example, it increases the weapon firing rates by 1%, and as you keep going, it'll eventually, allow you, like the last 4 spots here, you can't use those until you're at mech rank 4 or mech rank 5. And so,
you also are allowed to move those around whenever you want.
right.
There is no set thing where you have to respec. You can plus or minus at any time.
Correct.
You wish.
So, right, and that's just what I did here. If you guys see, you just hit the clear, then you go back to, whatever you want. And don't click on the actual spot. You actually have to click on the plus sign in case you're confused and why the hell won't let me put any points in. So we kind of talked about the items, tuning a little bit, weapons here, primary weapon, and then your secondary. You can't do much with your secondary on the mech that you pick. However, you can change around the primary, as you can see here. I can either do the SA Hawkins, switch over to the slug rifle, or the AM SAR, which requires your mech to be at level 3, that specific mech. You can be level 3 on another mech, but it's not going to make a difference on this one. You still cannot click on that weapon unless you want to upgrade it early, with Hawken points or something. Now, to be honest, David, I'm not sure if you know this. I don't know if you can spend the Hawken points or the meteor points and allow it to unlock it early, even though my mech, for example, is not mech rank 3.
You can do mech. You cannot break your mech level. You can't buy things past stuff. You have to actually play it.
That makes sense, and that's probably the best way to do it.
I have 7 mechs right now, but they're all kind of low level except for the one I've been focusing into.
Now, this one here, go ahead.
I think that's really what they're trying to do. You play, you get experience, you unlock new mechs, but they want you to focus on one in particular, and eventually maybe, go off onto another one. Like, I noticed that was a big thing between this one and the last add-on. It's like, you had one mech, you had to stick with it. It would cost points and a lot of work just to get another one. This one, they kind of hand you the new mechs, but at the same time, like, you've got to work on them if you want them.
Right. And, the other thing we'll talk about here is internals. So when you think about, your skills and your tuning and all of that, think of internals as this is something that is always kind of there. But it usually requires either something to make it work or something to make it turn
Very
on.
few are active, most are passive, and some require certain instances, like maybe after you take damage or kill an enemy,
correct,
to activate. Now, each one typically takes up, at least on my mech, I have 6 slots. Each one takes up a slot. You can unlock more as you level up, but you cannot say have 2 of the same kind on your thing to maybe double it. It will not allow that.
Correct. So yeah, I mean, you could see here 100% damage reduction from fall. And also keep in mind that depending on what else you have on your character, like for example, this thing here says incompatible with deflectors, incompatible with failsafe, things like that. So, if failsafe is here, so obviously, and that's what Dave is talking about, you can't use basic failsafe and failsafe at the same time because 160% damage reduction really doesn't make much sense. It's almost a little overpowered. I mean, obviously, you can convert 1.0 damage taken into fuel. You could just fill that whole thing up and just really completely overpower your character. Um, so, we'll talk about the style too here. Now, on my mech, I have the beta paint. Obviously, there's other ones that you can buy. Almost, and I really stress almost, all of them do require you to spend some meteor points. Now, there are ones, if you level up your character, your overall pilot, you do unlock a few. I mean,
Yeah,
unless obviously.
there are certain high-end chunks for each part of your body. When you hit a certain level, you do unlock. Like, I just unlocked the high from elite legs for my guy. They're nothing special, but it's all, aesthetic. Like, your guy could look like a fucking clown with
Right.
polka dot feet. As long as he can shoot that gun, it's not going to affect anything.
Right, exactly. And I'll show you here. I mean, you can even change the way that the pattern works and things like that. Now, you can pretty much change anything. I mean, you can change the thrusters here. And I'll tell you right now, when you do, it'll put a total down here. So let's say you want to buy the Rooster, which is a taunt along with a new thruster or something. It's still going to add those points together, tell you the total that it's going to cost. Obviously, we're not going to do that right now. We don't need to, although I will be honest, I do like the green thrusters.
A big chunk of the aesthetics things, you actually have to go to the market itself. And then you can scroll up or down. It looks like there's only 2 at the moment. If you see something you like, you can actually left click on it, and it will tell you if it's available for your certain type of mech.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the market here, because you can buy consumables, which will, change the way. Like, for example, holo emotes. Add to your stockpile of holo emotes usable by all owned mechs. Holo emotes. I think it's holo. It's HOLO. So I'm assuming I'm saying that right. I'm hoping it's not hollow here.
There's also some things you have to refuel for consumables. Like, for some of them, there's an extinguisher. Say you can automatically cool down your system, or if you're hit by an EMP, you'll have a backup system that will automatically kick in. Those cost, you got 15 charges. They cost points to refill.
Right. I mean, as with any free-to-play game, you can see here, you can click on boosts, and you can either boost your Hawken credits, which is nice. I mean, it's nice to be able to do that, because then you can still buy the mechs. However, you can also boost your experience, so it's either one that you want. Now, do you really need 30 days of Hawken credit boost, or 30 days of experience boost? I don't know. I mean, it does cost a pretty penny, and it changes frequently, so you'd have to look it up to see what it is the day you're watching this. But is 1,400 points really, worth the amount of money that you're going to be spending for 30 days of playing this game? And, at that point, it almost becomes a subscription MMO when you think about it, when you start buying all these points to last 30 days to, increase your experience and so forth. I mean, it really all depends on if that's what you're into.
It's much like any other, free-to-play game.
Right,
they have
exactly.
The option to advance your guy for money, but, like, it's not necessarily pay to win, because I'll tell you what, I've been playing for a while. Every now and then, I still get my ass kicked by the CRT, which is like the beginning.
Exactly, the one that looks like a TV or a microwave. I mean, that's true. I mean, you don't have to spend a dime in this game to be able to actually have fun. And to be honest with you, I really do believe that the developers of Hawken have done an excellent job of taking care of that and making it so it's not, a pay to win or something.
If anything, in my opinion, all they add is side grades and utility. Like, not necessarily like, pay $10, shoot this weapon, you win.
Right.
It's more like, here's a weapon that does this in this situation if you know how to use it correctly.
Right. And, as you can see here, you can go to the mech chart, and it will tell you, when you reach a mech experience with a mech, you will unlock the next mech in the family. And you can actually look at this, and here's the assault mechs, here's the suppression mechs, assassination, range, defense, and support. I only see one support mech. Which
it's called
the technician, yes, and then the brawler, and obviously the assault is going to be the one with the most, along with assassination and suppression.
Like, there's light assault, medium, and heavy, but each one of those has at least 3 to 4 subclasses within it as well. So
correct. Yeah, and here's the CRT Dave was talking about here, the CRT recruit.
I noticed it was kind of funny why it's called a CRT.
Is it because it's a TV?
well, CRT monitor.
Oh yeah.
Obnoxious. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I get that. Now I got it. All right. Well, anyway, so yeah, we went over a little bit about the market, the garage, and everything. And you can see here your consumables, your weapons here, and whatever item you have. Now, obviously, on this character here, I have not put anything really into the items or the internals. I'll probably do that at another time when I really start delving deeper into the game. You can look at your career, things like that, your total experience, and obviously, as you can see, I'm pretty terrible at this. Team win percentage is only 66%. Speaking of team win, I will tell you guys right now, the best new feature down here on the bottom right is called Create a Party. And me and the game
Yes.
guys, we were playing a little bit earlier. It
We're
makes
literally
it
playing
so
the
much
night
easier.
before they
Right.
announced this.
Exactly. Yeah, we actually did a whole recording on this, and we're like, well, what the fuck? I guess we should do a whole nother recording on it.
Yeah. I remember we were complaining about how the HUD is kind of muffed up,
Right.
and it's the join as a group.
Exactly.
Both they fix in the expansion.
And it's funny because we really didn't know even the expansion was coming out.
No, I knew
when
there
we
was
did
an
our
update.
record.
I didn't know the scale of what they were doing.
Right. I mean, they changed a lot, guys. They really did. So, if you had an issue with Hawken before, they have changed so much with balancing, the way the HUD looks, the way the mechs move. And when we do another video with the rest of the game, guys, we will go over all that. But as of right now, I really just wanted to touch base with you guys on exactly what they changed, just with the beginning of it, how you unlock things, level progression, things like that. Because I really do think at the end of the day, that's pretty important to people. If you can see here, service awards, these are basic achievements. That's all they are. It's just achievements with a different name, which is fine. I mean, I like achievements. I'm not really the crazy guy who just really delves into them, but they're fun. I mean, I'm not going to go buy every single game just to get an achievement for certain things, and I'm not going to spend hours and hours and hours to unlock one achievement. But hey, if that's your thing, it is here for you. So good luck to you.
That, and I have a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple of them, not a whole lot here, but as you can see, I mean, if I can click on the correct thing here, it really gets down into some pretty crazy things here. I mean, you get 500 Hawken points for some of these.
I have actually 57. And yeah, like he's saying, every time you get a unlock like that, you get a little extra Hawken points.
Right, exactly. And there's mech specific ones. So if you're a certain mech, you'll get more there, things like that. So mech profile, like I said, just kind of goes over how you do with each mech. Obviously, I've been playing a lot of the what my guy's name is called the Tin Hawk, actually. Yeah, I mean, I played, what is that, 38? I think that's maybe 38 minutes. Is that 38 hours? I didn't think it was only 38 minutes.
It's 38 minutes. I guarantee you I haven't been playing 38 hours.
Yeah, maybe it is 38 minutes.
My
level
guy
7 in 38 minutes, it doesn't seem possible, but hey.
My guy's level 7 with 3 hours. So.
Oh, okay. So I guess it's possible, yeah. So we haven't really, as you can see, played a whole lot. There is more training things, offline team deathmatch, VR training.
Oh, yeah, they totally changed that. Before it was just a piece of stupid, like, quick training thing. Now
right, exactly.
Have a offline team deathmatch.
Right. Yep. I mean, like I said, guys, they have changed a lot of stuff, which I'm happy about. I mean, yeah. I really do think they've changed it for the better. Now, here's another thing too. They have not changed anything with the video settings. At least that I can see, everything looks pretty much the same.
Yeah.
However, turn off image grain. I mean, unless you kind of like that stuff, I can't stand filters over my games. I can't stand any graininess. I can't stand piss filters, if you will, from like Deus Ex or anything like that. I can't stand them. If you can't, it is in there in the advanced options. You can turn it off. And obviously credits here. So that's all we got for you right now. Dave, you want to add anything else before we close this off?
The game is free. Couldn't hurt to try, people.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, give it a shot. It's really not a big download. I think it's, like 4 gigs or something like that, I think, total?
Less than that, I think. Also, it is not what you think is a typical mech game where it's slow turning. It is fast-paced. It is responsive. It is good.
Yeah, I mean, it really is fast-paced. And like I said, we're going to go over a little bit more in depth of how it plays once we get into that actual gameplay session here coming up. So stick around, keep an eye on our channel. We'll be back with actual gameplay of Hawken, and we appreciate you guys watching. Thanks a lot.